Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We are back having a look at the Christmas update leaks, and after having a look at the ground stuff, it's now time to have a look at the air stuff. There's a lot of vehicles here which are pretty similar to what we've seen before, but have significant upgrades, and also what we'll do in this video is add some of the miscellaneous stuff, such as some new HMDs, some new missiles that will be coming to the game, and maybe some other information too. So, let's have a bit of a fun time going through all of this, and at the same time, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also like the video. Let's get started. So it seems like this update is going to be focused around getting the AESA radars for all of the different nations, so therefore the Typhoons, or the Eurofighter Typhoons, are going to be upgraded. Now whether this is going to be an upgrade to the vehicles that are already there, or it's just going to be a new vehicle, which is more likely, I'm pretty sure that's what's going to come in. So we have a German Eurofighter 2000 AESA, then we have a Eurofighter Typhoon for Britain with an AESA radar 2, and for Italy, the F2000A AESA. And as I said, it looks like they are pushing this new mechanic. Well, I shouldn't say new because it's been in the game for a while, but they're probably going to improve it as they go on because it is seen as such a large upgrade over what was there before. Should be a comprehensive addition to the game, and this is coming in the form of the Eurofighters. The next vehicle on the list is the Belyayev DBLK. This vehicle ended up in the files last time on the dev server, but it wasn't finished. What this is a twin-engine vehicle with a very interesting layout, which is also designed to be a bomber. The vehicle itself was a big flying wing. It was designed to be a long-range boy, but unfortunately it didn't exactly see a lot of success. It was a one-off prototype. Let's just say its flight capabilities were a bit of a problem, and the vehicle itself used the M88 engine, which had a few issues as well during the Second World War for the Russians. The armament on this vehicle, it had 4 7.62mm Shikasses, and then also 2 7.62s which were fixed. So it had 4 turreted ones and then 2 fixed in the front, and the vehicle itself I think will be really cool to see. But at the same time, I don't think it would be crazy good. This kind of feels like a winter event vehicle kind of deal that they're going to bring in, but who knows? We'll have to see what turns up with it. The next vehicle is another J10 variant, and once again, this is one with an AESA radar. The J10C, it's an upgraded version of the J10B, where they just added a lot of cool stuff. First of all, they have the indigenous AESA fire control radar, and also has the PL-10s and the WS-10B engine, and access to the PL-15 air-to-air missiles, which will be interesting to see. This is known as a 4.5 generation jet, because generations are always fun to talk about, but the major thing is it is a comprehensive upgrade over the J10 that we have in the game, and brings China onto the same level as many other vehicles in terms of the systems that they have on board. We also have the Ryan FR Fireball, which is pretty awesome. This is an American vehicle, but it's a mixed power fighter aircraft. This one is piston and also jet powered at the same time. I really find ideas like this really interesting, and they're kind of the late Second World War, early Cold War vehicles, or I suppose Korean War era vehicles, which were designed around a really, really cool, interesting setup. This has the Wright R1820 72W Cyclone, and it also has access to a turbojet engine, the General Electric J31GE3. This meant that the vehicle could go 650 kilometers an hour, which may not seem very fast, but at the time was pretty good for this type of vehicle. It had 4 50 cals as well. It had a bunch of rockets that it could bring, and also bombs, since it is American, and it was a naval aircraft, so it should have access to a few cool things like that too. The American naval forces really did try a bunch of different things to get stuff going, but unfortunately the jet age was just too fast, and ideas like the Fireball didn't really go anywhere hugely. This vehicle's first flight was in 1944. It was introduced into service in 1945, and then it was retired by 1947, kind of showing how much of a leap it was to get just true, pure jets into the area. The vehicle itself is just really cool, and I'm super happy to see it. Hopefully, we can see it do well in War Thunder. There is also a fantastic vehicle which is on this list, and it is the MiG-25 PD. If you remember, earlier in the year, we talked about the fact that BVD had mentioned on one of the streams that they were looking at adding the MiG-25. Well, it looks like dreams do come true at Christmas, because the big boy is coming in. This isn't the standard MiG-25 that you may have heard of. This is actually an upgraded version, which isn't too surprising because of the simple fact if they put in the standard one, it wouldn't really fit too well in the game. So let's go through what this vehicle is. There is a wonderful article on the War Thunder forum from Savage Virus R6, which goes through it, and I thought I would just give a link to it and also go through it. When the original MiG-25P entered service in the late 1960s, it was designed to intercept high-flying reconnaissance aircraft, ballistic missiles, and also high-speed bombers, such as the planned XB-70 Valkyrie. Although most of these American projects never reached operational service, the MiG-25P still found important roles within Soviet air defense strategy. It caused panic among Western analysts who feared it could outperform even the most advanced American aircraft. However, the defection of the Soviet pilot Viktor Belenko to Japan in 1976 exposed several shortcomings. The MiG-25P's radar was increasingly ineffective against low-flying targets and vulnerable to electronic countermeasures, and its R-40 missiles were unreliable at short range or in cluttered environments. They also discovered that the aircraft was not constructed entirely from titanium, which the Soviets deemed prohibitively expensive and difficult to work with. Instead, it relied heavily on 80% nickel-steel alloy, 11% aluminium, and 8 to 9% titanium. As a result, it had a turn radius the size of Texas, though, in fairness, it was never intended to engage in traditional dogfighting. By the mid-1970s, the Soviet Union faced a new generation of threats: low-flying strategic bombers like the American B-1 Lancer and emerging cruise missile technologies. The Soviet PVO, or Air Defense Forces, needed an interceptor that could see and kill targets at long range. Under all conditions, even when enemy aircraft employed electronic jamming and terrain masking. Thus, the MiG-25PD was developed. The MiG-25PD introduced a brand new radar, the RP-25M Sapphire 25, capable of engaging fast, low-altitude targets while offering better resistance to ECM. It had the capability to detect targets with a radar cross-section of 16 by 19 meters squared over a 100-kilometer range. A small TP-26SH infrared search and track sensor was added below the nose, a critical edge in an era where radar jamming was becoming common. The engines were upgraded to the R-15B D300 model, improving thrust and also reliability. Missiles were also modernized. Its R-40Rs and R-40T missiles were now designated R-40RDs and 40TDs, with greater resistance to countermeasures and also improved engagement envelopes. Officially entering service in 1978, the MiG-25PD restored the relevance of the FOXBAT concept at a time when low-altitude penetration threatened Soviet airspace dominance. The production continued until 1982, and a substantial number of older MiG-25Ps were rebuilt to the PD standard, becoming MiG-25 PDS aircraft. The vehicle also, at the same time, could carry technically R-60s as well, which is pretty fun, so maybe they'll also get access to those at some point. There are also some new missiles and HMDs coming in. There's supposed to be a new F-18 HMD and also a new Rafale HMD, which will be really cool to see. But the missiles themselves, first of all, we have the PL-15. This is the very modern Chinese missile, their active radar homing one, which is used on every single one of their modern aircraft. The PL-15 is designed to go incredibly far, with an operational range up to 200 kilometers, which is pretty nuts to think about. And it's also a Mach 5 missile, meaning that it can go 6,100 kilometers an hour. This missile is also available for other nations such as Pakistan, where it has been operated and exported to too. There is also a bunch of different variants of the PL-15 used for different purposes, and also general improvements that have turned up too. So it looks like China is going to get a new banger active radar homing missile. The R-40s are also in the leak list, the R-40TD and also RD specifically. These are the upgraded version of them, mainly because if they added the standard ones, they would be absolutely abysmal. The R-40s were designed to engage bombers at high altitudes, so they're big, massive, fast missiles, but let's just say do not turn incredibly well. The R-40TD and also the R-40 RD, though, the radar and also IR versions of these missiles are the upgraded variants, so they are better than the other ones. The problems that the originals had is they were very easy to fool, and also the radar that the radar ones actually used wasn't very good on the MiG-25. That should be definitely better on the version that they've picked. So they're trying their best to actually make this MiG-25 work, whether it's going to be an event vehicle or whether it's going to be a standard tech tree or premium vehicle, who knows? But it's really cool to see. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and let me know what you think about the list. I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.